Hi, so I got a lot of requests from you guys to make a video on IPM prep. I was kind of delaying it, but here it is now. So I've named it IPM Prep 101. It sounds cool. So moving on, let's start with quant. And don't worry, I'll put the PDF of this thing in the description so that you have that. So about quant, first there is the section of proper quant. Okay, so in this section, uh, there are topics like ratio proportion, mixture and alligation, which you don't learn in your school life, but these are important. So you must do that. And these are the topics that you must have some tips, tricks, and concepts, because even only then you are able to solve them with high speed and accuracy. So I would suggest watch their lectures. I do not want to join coaching personally. That's why I watched on YouTube. But trust me, Mission Cat is the best channel out there. He is an IIM Ahmedabad alumni, and he teaches us. So just go for it. So Mission Cat, I used to watch the lectures of Mission Cat, the different things like percentages, time work, distance, whatever it may be. And after that, I used to solve this, like just go through the book of Quicker Maths by M. Tyra. I did not solve questions from that, but it has a lot of tips and tricks. Like in IPM, you have to have good accuracy and speed. So for speed, the more tips and tricks you have, the better. So it has a lot of tricks, and for short formulas, you can learn them if you find them useful. After that, I used to solve Arun Sharma, level of difficulty 1 and 2. There is no need of level of difficulty 3, because even in CAT, rarely questions from LOD 3 come. So LOD 1, 2 will be fine. And it starts from basics to higher level, so you won't have any problem. And please solve with a timer, please, because in paper, in the real test, you have only 1 minute for one question. So if you don't put that habit from the start, it becomes really hard for us. So just try doing that, 1 minute per question. At start it would be difficult. You would only be able to, if you take 30 questions and put a timer of 30 minutes, you would be able to solve only 15 questions, or maybe 10 questions. But as you practice and practice, the timing will decrease, and the timing for per question will decrease, and you're in 30 minutes you may be able to solve 30 questions, or 25, 27. Just do it with a timer, I mean. Then there is a topic of higher maths. This is all the 11th and 12th concepts like matrices and determinants, functions, quadratic equations, permutation and combination, probability, all these things. That is from the higher maths part. I would suggest please study the whole 11th and 12th maths if possible. You have 2 years, but if you're watching this video late, I would say whatever topics you find out about that on the like according to the IPM syllabus, just watch JE lectures on YouTube, then solve NCRT, and then solve JE mains questions. So I would say that you may have friends who went to pursue JE. So those from us, like, ask those children for the sheets that their coaching provides and solve from them. I myself was preparing for that, so I think that was enough for me for higher maths part. But if you don't have such resources, just do RD Sharma. I've heard that RD Sharma is good, but I would say at least solve previous year JE questions because they are useful. There is no need to go for JE advanced because they are way tough. Like, you don't have to do them. Then there is another thing, that is syllabus till 10th. There are some questions that come from 10th standard too, such as geometry theorems like Apollonius theorem. I don't remember the names and all, but there are those theorems. And even you must remember, you must have that theorem in a circle if there are 2 seconds, or multiplication of the individual segments is equal. So whatever the theorems are, please revise that because they come very handy in the exam. Then there is height and distances too, trigonometry and height and distances, that has a minor part, but just revise that. Then for data interpretation, there are pie charts, bar graphs, tables, etc. There are a lot of things. I would say that to CAT questions of moderate difficulty, you will find that online. Just search CAT questions, level difficulty 1, 2, no need of 3 as always. And just I like the questions in data interpretation, they are not hard, they are just lengthy. You have to do a lot of calculations. So just improve your calculation speed and avoid use of calculator. They do give you a calculator, but it is just to waste your time. So improve your calculation speed, learn to add fast, subtract, and divide, multiply, all the tricks like Vedic maths and thing that like not Vedic maths, but try to improve your calculations as much as possible because it really helps. So that is about improving calculations. Then there is another thing, logic. Do for IPMAT Indore too, please. I did not prepare for logic because the logic in Rohtak is very easy, and I have been giving competitive exams and also I did not need such help. But many people like this year, I am Indore to give logic. Usually, I am Indore gives a DI set. This first time they gave logic set, and many people got stuck on that. It was of good difficulty, so please do that. Again, do Arun Sharma logic question LOD 1, LOD 2, or any LR book, but the difficulty was higher for the Indore paper. So try doing it and don't waste a lot of time. Please do logic, but like most of the parts of the logic you already know, blood relations and those things are very easy if you have done previous exams, like competitive exams in previously. But if you haven't, do practice, but don't waste a lot of time, and things which are hard like seating arrangement and those things, you can do that. Now coming to verbal, so in verbal, most people cannot clear this cutoff. I had people in my class who were more brilliant than me. I could see, but they could not appear even for the interview just because this cutoff. You can like most people score very high in quant, essay, and MCQ, but they cannot clear the verbal cutoff. Please, please, please pay focus on verbal. So for that, first you should do grammar, solve Brennan Martin and Pal and Suri. Like I myself solved Pal and Suri, but even Brennan Martin is good. Any high school level English grammar book. Then idioms, phrases, and phrasal verbs. So these are kind of free marks because anything of these like grammar, idioms, phrases, vocabulary, or reading comprehension. These are things that you cannot improve over a night. But like the other things, but idioms, phrases, and phrasal verbs are a thing that if you read them once and even if you see the options, you can have a good idea about what to do. So do this. I used to like I realized that the how can I improve my verbal cutoff, the verbal score was by this. So I used to wake at night and do this. I read Pal and Suri for this because it had a vast variety, so you can go for it, I would suggest. For vocabulary, you must have heard it a lot of times on different channels. Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Read it 2 3 times if you can. I didn't read it because I did not have time. I read it half like a half book, but then I left it because I did not have time. Read editorials with that because when the you cannot just read the book and remember those words. When they come into daily use, then you will be able to recall them. So for that, you must read editorials because it has a lot of new words. For for reading comprehension, do SAT questions. I have heard that the SAT reading comprehension is quite difficult. So you would good to go in IPMAT. Or you can even do Arun Sharma. I would say I do Arun Sharma. But other than that, practice questions. I've star marked it because practice questions you need to do. Even if you do grammar, the thing is, if you solve a single question of grammar, that is a different thing. But the questions that come in verbal ability, where there are out of 4 questions, two are so damn confusing. It gets so difficult to cope up. So it's better that you solve questions from the start. From where can you solve your questions? According to the exam. So find questions of IPMAT on internet or solve Arun Sharma. But the level of Arun Sharma is very difficult. So don't get demotivated. I've written it. It is quite difficult. So please don't get demotivated. It's okay if you're not able to solve them very properly. But if you solve that, you will be easily able to get through IPMAT. Then don't buy Pearson book. There is only one book in market for specifically for IPM preparation. That is Pearson. I solved it, and its difficulty level is too low for IPM. So it is of no use. I wasted my time. If you want to start from basics, do that. But Arun Sharma is more than enough because Arun Sharma also starts from basics. For general knowledge and current affairs, read newspaper every day, and by that you will get to know the general things. Like you should know general things such as state capitals, and in our batch they asked about temples and all, like Jyotirlings or Ashtavinayak. Since I was from Maharashtra, they also asked me about Ashtavinayak. And rivers, what rivers flow in India, or which rivers flow which side, with like where they go, and in Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. These are the common questions, but these are kind of questions that you will automatically come to know if you read newspaper every day. Don't waste a lot of time. 15 to 20 minutes is enough for reading newspaper. Don't waste more than that, because they don't ask a lot. You need to focus much on academics, because in interview, IPM interviews are mostly like academic oriented. You must know 11th and 12th academics, and they will take you even if you don't know the GK. But for just to be on the safe side, do read newspaper. It's a good habit. Then general tips, mocks. Solve a lot of mocks. Like I myself solved 30, 40 mocks, and of different coachings. I had mocks of ACE IPM, super grads, time and career launches. So people do that. Like a coaching cannot depict the perfect mock of any exam. So when you give mocks of different coachings, you get an idea like what different people think and what kind of questions can come. So if you have some money to burn, go for it. But even a single series is fine. Many of my friends who are now right now in my batchmates had only one mock series, and they were good to go. So you can do that too. Improve and analyze, please analyze. Like people make this mistake, they solve mocks but they don't analyze it. So don't do this. If you don't analyze the mocks, you're not going to improve. Like when I started analyzing, then I realized that I was weak at verbal, so I put my efforts into verbal. So this is it, and don't get demotivated. Everybody has bad marks, everybody scores less. So don't feel that will I even will I be even able to make it. It's okay, everybody has those thoughts. Even I felt the same way, but I got through. So don't get demotivated, and do not aim for the cutoff, yeah, please. At least aim for 75% of the marks, because just clearing cutoff will only give you interview call. If you want to get selected, you must click, score more than cutoff. The second point is practice. Practice, practice, and practice. Practice as much as you can, because there is no substitute to hard work. Like, please, many people ask me, Bhaiya, how much time should we study? There is no time, yaar. It is you who has to understand that if you can complete a chapter in 2 hours, then sit for 2 hours. If you can complete a chapter in 5 hours, sit for 5 hours. It's up to you. How much can you, what is your capabilities? You know yourself better than me or anybody else. So please don't think about time. Study as much as you can. While after practicing, you should be able to tell that will you be able to solve this question, and how much time will it take to solve this question, and what uh, if so like yeah, that's all I have to say, I guess. But you should be able to solve those questions and get to know those things. Stay away from negativity, please, please, please. Like many of us get demotivated because we are surrounded by friends and families. They are like, how much are you scoring? You're scoring so less. So please stay away from them. Like I remember during my preparation, the last 1 week or something, uh, I joined a Telegram group, and people there were saying that I scored 190, 200, and the score should be around 17, 160, 170, and I was scoring about 150. I got so demotivated. Yeah, people are scoring 190 and all. What should I do? But many of them are just bluffing, because they just want to scare you and erase half of the competition. Don't be that half. Please stay away from such things. Don't get demotivated, because it doesn't matter what they're scoring. Your score is important. Focus on that, and just leave those groups if you want to, or at least mute them. And please listen to your heart, yeah. Like thousands of people will give advice. You will watch thousands of videos. You will watch my video. What did I do? You will watch other video. What did they do? So it doesn't matter. Do what you feel like, do what you want, because as I said, you know yourself better than anyone. I have highlighted it just because I was weak at verbal. I worked on verbal. You are weak at quant. You should work on quant. Whatever you are weak at, you should try to find it, analyze it, and work on it. That's why analyzation of mocks is very important. Like you should analyze everything, even topics which are hard for you.